All right, so we have one item to go back to. Look, Standing Orders 19.5. Thank you, guys. You're probably going to stay there. A meeting may revoke or alter a previous resolution made at the same meeting where during the course of the meeting it receives fresh facts or information concerning that resolution. In this situation, we would require 75% of the members present and voting to agree to the revocation or alteration. And bearing in mind, I'd like to bring up that standing order at the moment because of the decision that we made previously, we left with the option of doing nothing, which, as I said in my debate, I felt unacceptable because of the urgency of this situation. So, alongside the this standing order, we've actually brought new information, which is we've asked staff to compile a matrix to present the information to the committee far more clearly, and that's actually what was requested at the last meeting, and some members felt the information wasn't presented in a format that was acceptable. To also address that issue, we have formulated a fourth resolution to ensure that this situation does not happen again in the future. And I think it's a very feasible criticism that some members have made on that information that came back. They found it wasn't an acceptable format. So, are there any questions on this process for now? And the next step will be for me to call for support for the revocation of the previous resolution, in which case we would need 3/4 of you or 12 to support that. Otherwise, we'll be left with the option of do nothing. So, Tim?
Thank you. And maybe no one heard what I was saying when I said it, but it was also about the process, and that there is no question about the urgency and the importance of this work to be done. But my issue was the process and the undertaking that was taken after the last. And I see the hand gestures and everything, but it is really frustrating when you think you have an agreement with staff and maybe there's a bit of confusion or whatever, but we come to a point and that undertaking, I feel, hasn't been taken.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to address in number 4, because it's a valid point.
Number 4, request that staff update. So
no, we've got the information
in future, because that was not.
I'll be interested to see the updated information when it wasn't there before.
But it's in calling for through any meeting at all, when a committee calls for more information or another option, we want it brought back in a more robust manner than was today. So we're trying to prevent this happening again. So thinking that some members may have voted against the option because they felt that the process was not followed, and we're trying to put a band-aid over that.
Yeah, I mean, say that what we need to do is probably allow a couple of minutes for our elected members to look on the big tin can and see the new information that's been provided.
But at the moment,
no.
Resolution that basically.
But people won't be in favour if they haven't seen it.
That's right. So, if members have an open mind and have a will to rescind the last decision, they can still vote the same way if we vote again. That's fine, So let's just.
An open mind. I do object to that. I mean, it's not having an open mind. It's really wanting the information that was asked for originally.
Yes, and you can still vote the same way.
Just on behalf of staff, I'd say, we acted on the resolution that you gave us, that a report be left on the table while staff investigate other options, including cheap piling. And I thought, and maybe we didn't report that in the right way, but we had looked at the option, we brought you the reports from people, and so this one now clarifies, or this other resolution clarifies what you actually mean by looking at those options. But we did bring you back that option. We did bring you back the staff had considered it. So basically, I apologise if it was not actually in a options version as we'd normally do other options, and we'll certainly take that away as a lesson.
Yes.
What we've tried to do in the updated report is bring that back as an option, because really in the options report, on the report we came back, we had eliminated that option on your behalf almost, but we did explain why we had eliminated that. So
now that
my apologies.
Thank you, Dave. The new options report is on the hub, but there's no point in actually spending time on that until we agree or disagree.
Well, you can't agree with this resolution.
Do committee members want to see the options report before we vote?
Has it been provided?
No.
Yes, it is there. I've been told it's
not.
there.
I can't find it on my
I can't see how this is going to lead to a
Is it
better
there or
outcome.
not?
We're just trying to spend another hour to get
No,
to the
we're
same
not.
point.
It's the
No.
same information. It's new information put in.
It's
What-
about the outcome.
Okay.
Here's the thing, council last time.
Hang on. It's about the outcome. The outcome we've reached today is a very disappointing do-nothing option. It is. And so we may end up, if we revisit this and look at the options report that was requested, is now being provided, we may end up with the same outcome, but at least it's giving us a chance to end up with a better outcome. So I would like to revisit this in this committee meeting. It doesn't mean we've got to go through all the lengthy debate again.
Well, no,
James?
but I think that that's what the outcome is going to be. I think that the resolutions up there are just going to ask for trouble. The crux of the matter was, and the arguments against it, I don't think anyone anticipated it to be a stalemate like it was, but it was fundamentally because Phil had wanted additional work to be undertaken with comprehensive costed options of the installation.
Point of order, what are we actually
steel
debating
sheet
at the moment?
piling. Okay, so if that is put up as another option, then that you could allow the revocation of that and then the opportunity for the other members who voted the way they did to either support or not support the intent
So
of why
this
they
has
voted
been
against
the
it.
legal advice for a way forward here, that in order to progress this, we need to put the option out to revoke what we just did and to re-put the
Yeah.
motion. And we have put an
And-
addition to that
all
motion
right,
to try
all right.
and appease the people who did vote
All right, well, if you
against
think
this
that
because of the process.
The legal advice will lead to expediting an outcome here,
Well,
then by all
we need
means
an
go for
outcome.
it.
All right. Okay, well, look, I'm going to put the motion from the chair. Does it have to be seconded? No, I think the chair can just do it. I'm going to put the motion that, with the will of the committee, we rescind the previous decision we just made in the light that we have some more information. We've had legal advice that we have made the decision, made a decision to do nothing because it's the status quo. Melanie?
What we're going to is revoke the vote.
Melanie? And then Andrew?
Are we able to see this additional information?
Yes, we will see it once we have
No,
decided the way
we need
forward.
it before we rescind something.
Well, you don't, because you don't need to change your vote, Andrew.
Yeah, my view is that we need to see the new information, because the basis on which we're revoking the previous decision or the previous result is that there's new information available. We need to see the new information to be certain that it is actually new information before we consider the resolution under 19.5.
Yep.
So I think as a matter of process, we need that information
all right.
first.
If that's the will of the committee, then we will do that, in which case we will adjourn this meeting. We will, we will adjourn this meeting because that's the latest information, and we will move to the Finance and Performance Committee meeting, and we will reconvene this meeting at the end of the Finance and Performance Committee meeting. Right. It should be there, but apparently it's not.